Pelotero Pickle episode 49. We've got a post Homerun Derby All-Star game recap. Perfect game posted a 5.96 60-yard dash, and everybody's freaking out. And Giannis gave a great post-game interview. Let's check it out. Pelotero Pickle episode 49. It is July 19th. Just a quick reminder, if you have any topics for us, please send them to our mailbag, pickle@pelotero.com. We love getting all your questions. It really helps out with the show. Pickle@pelotero.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter. Joining me is Chris Colabello. Chris, how are you doing today? And Clutch.
Hi, Bobby. Clutch is here. It's all because Kratzy still hasn't found the time to come on the show. So we needed to have a guest. By Kratzy, I mean Eric Kratz. So we brought Clutch today. Clutch is going to be really talkative. Lots of topics that he's interested in, particularly the NBA Finals and hitting.
Kratzy would have been perfect today, too, because we're going to talk a little draft. And he was at the MLB Combine. Did you happen to see any of the Combine? Did you watch it?
I tried to watch as little of it as possible.
Are you still mad because you didn't get drafted?
Yeah, I thought I was going to get drafted this year again, but I didn't.
That doesn't make any sense.
Still haven't got drafted. That's all I could say.
Ship has sailed. You're not going to get drafted. Neither of us will get drafted ever. So we got that going for us.
I can be mad about it.
You can. That's a choice. That's a choice you can make.
Yeah. So Kratzy told me, I talked to him before. This is a preemptive because this is how we're gonna get him on the show. We're gonna talk about him for a good 5 minutes, and then I'll be like, see, we talk about you on the show even when you're not there. So Eric Kratz is a legend, first of all, right? Guy's he's unbelievable. And he got invited to do the MLB Combine. He's telling me about it, and I said, what are you gonna do down there? And he goes, I don't know, just walk around with a shirt on and a stopwatch in my hand. But then I watched the drafts because I was waiting until one Sal Frelick from Boston College got picked in the first round just to see where he would go. And there Kratzy is doing like reviews on players for the draft or for post-combine, but then they used it on the network.
Well, he pulled a U. He went on MLB Network from like the street with his AirPods in and like just walking around. He was doing like live TV from his phone, just walking around. I don't even know what city he was in, but he was like in mid travel, so he was multitasking.
Yeah.
But then when they showed him on the during the combine, like he was taking throws from the right fielder at home plate.
Yeah, part of it. This is all part of it. All the things you just said are part of it.
Like him, I think so. Salta Lamacchia was there too, I think. For the catcher, I thought I saw his hair.
Kratzy's the only person I pay attention to.
But it was like it was just a bunch. It was a gaggle of former catchers just at home plate. I love that I just use gaggle. But they're just like taking throws. I'm like, one of them was airmailed, so he's like jumping. I'm like, I wanted to ask him if he came on, like, why'd you jump for that?
All right, so next week.
Or like he got short hopped and he like just bailed on it. Like, do not stick your nose in there.
Kratzy next week.
For the combine throws from the outfielders. Or like, how about give him a long hop? He's a former big leaguer. Never make him reach below his waist.
Don't have enough.
Fingers up. Like, what are we doing?
They don't have enough field to know that, right? The kid throwing that ball doesn't have enough field to know that.
I remember the first time. So we were a host family for the Atlantic League when I was like in high school. And the first time I got to go to the field with the guys and like go to BP, and I was playing catch with somebody who was a former big leaguer. I forget who it was. There were a handful of guys with legit experience on that team, and I'm playing catch with them. And like, I didn't hit him in the chest or head area. And he was like, listen, like, don't make me reach down. If anything, make me reach up, but like, don't ever make me reach down. Like, shoulders up, like fingers have to be up catching the ball. Like, if I got to turn my glove, it's a problem. Like, you need to reevaluate what you're doing. And it was so impactful. So I was so nervous. I'm like, do not throw it low. Do not throw it low. But it's just like, keep your fingers up when you play catch. Don't turn your glove. Simple.
I've gotten to the point where if I play catch with a young person, I'm going to call him a young person now. It's a ball I don't want to reach for. I just stand there and keep my glove up, and I'm like, get another ball.
Yeah.
I ain't going to get it.
Yeah, don't reach for, like, if you're like this and it's like over there, you're just like, Hey, you go get it.
Yeah.
I'm not responsible for your bad throws.
Yeah.
I'm over it. Speaking of good throws, I love my segues. Dave, is it Jauss? Haas? How do we pronounce his name? J.
Joust.
I think we could go Haas, soft J. Joss. Guy just fed Alonzo. Just fed him, just cookie after cookie. He was the best BP pitcher of all time. They're doing metrics. I'm glad they weren't doing metrics when I threw in the Derby. But Joust was just, I mean, he was in the box the whole time. Really good rhythm. Drilled Alonzo once.
He was not in the box that time.
We got to do a home run derby recap. I feel uniquely qualified to talk about it because I've done it. So Pete Alonso was incredible. He's just a machine. I feel like first of all, he's made more money participating in the home run derby than playing in the major leagues, which is crazy. Ohtani, I think the altitude got the best of him. He was smoked after 2 minutes of hitting. And they say he doesn't take BP. I've heard that he doesn't take BP on the field, that he does take BP just in the tunnel, which is whatever. He was just getting in front of everything. His first 10 hits were hooked grounders. Gallo, I wasn't watching. That was like prime kids getting ready for bedtime for me. So I didn't see Gallo's round, but everybody was saying his BP guy was kind of not up to pace. Comment about
he had some Hook Johnson going on too.
Yeah, that was my biggest fear with him. Is he doesn't really have a good swing, but I wanted him to hit a ball 600 feet, and I think he's capable, especially at that stadium. The pace. So I threw in the Derby the first year the clock was in play, and they actually changed the format on the fly. I don't know if I told this story. It was going to be like, I think it was like 3 minutes of regular, like the current format where it's like a running clock. And then the last minute was going to be stoppage time. So like old Derby. So if you hit a homer, it would pause the clock. And then that night there was a huge storm coming in. So they had to change the format and they went all on the clock. It was like production meeting. It was kind of cool. Like be like under the stadium going through all these meetings and whatnot. But it was kind of hectic because we didn't know the format until an hour before the event. And it was new at the time. They have the umpire out there like this telling you when to throw. That is the hardest part about throwing in the Derby, is the guy telling you when you can throw, because you don't get in a rhythm. It's not like a normal flow of BP. At the first year, so that was 2015, the tracking system that they use, so they do the bonus time if you hit the ball 450 or whatever the distance is, they could only track one ball in the air at a time. So if the guy hit a pop-up to the infield, the guy's like this, and you got to wait for the ball to land. So you're like 7-second pop-up, you just standing there waiting. Super awkward. You just throws you off your rhythm. Now I don't know what it was, but it was way faster now. The old format, they cheated. Todd Frazier cheated against us so bad. His brother just started throwing like every second. Bryce Harper a couple years ago when he won it, his dad just started throwing it every second. So now there's less cheating to the rules. I guess I don't know what the tracking system, if it's different, whatever it is. It's easier now because you can get in a rhythm. But that umpire, that's the hardest thing. Like when I threw, I was looking at two things. They had a clock at the facing of the second deck and the umpire. And everybody's like, "Oh, are you nervous? Are you nervous?" I'm like, "No, I just got in there and throw." Like when it's your turn to go, it's like you have just go throw. That's the only really thing you can focus on. You can't like worry about the crowd. You don't have time for that because you're in the moment. But you're looking at this guy and you're looking at the clock, and that's it.
Yeah, all of that. So from my perspective, I thought the home run derby stunk. I thought it was terrible. And the reason why is not because the hitting was bad or whatever. I couldn't like watch it because the split screen, being at home, I couldn't follow anything. And
were you watching the StatCast or the normal?
No, I don't watch StatCast. A homer's a
StatCast one was rough to listen to. I was watching that one first, and I was like, "What is this? I can't listen to this." And then I didn't even know it was on the StatCast version.
Yeah, I think the format's cool, but I think it's not at the same time because it leads to. It's like you're trying to win an endurance test. You're not trying to win a home run hitting test. And I guess one could be the same, right? But there was so much, like, I think that if they could blend it, right, where you have some time rounds and then and like the Soto Ohtani thing with the swing off, but I also didn't understand the 3 swing off thing and just making stuff up along the way. But yeah, the big dudes, all the big dudes, I think, to me, you know, the thing I feared, especially when I picked Olsen because nobody else was picking Olsen, and he's like a walking home run in batting practice. Like, that guy just hits homers, right? He looked like he was taking a leisurely stroll in the park. He was like, you know, fixing his like arms, and I was like, dude, you're gonna need to go if you want to win this thing. And clearly he didn't seem very concerned with that part. So I still think my pick was good, and then I was right. But he just chose to, like, he opted out of going fast. Alonso is built for this, like, format because he just can swing and swing and swing and swing and swing. Yeah, it's literally just it's an endurance test.
But the graphics and stuff where the home run counter was never right.
Yeah,
That's the issue with having multiple balls in the air at the same time. There's probably 3 balls in the air at once.
Right.
If they're going normal speed, and then you don't know if it's out, and it's like, oh, he's got 2 seconds left. How many homers does he have? We don't know. Like, you can't track the distance. You can't appreciate each batted ball for what it is.
Exactly. There were like 13 people that I talked to that were like, Ohtani cheated, his number was wrong, and I was like, I don't know. I couldn't. I'm not there getting paid to keep track of it or whatever. I imagine watching it live was probably significantly better than watching it on TV because like you were watching a ball land and you didn't know if it was the ball he hit or the ball that was landing, or it was weird. I didn't enjoy it at all. I'm not gonna lie.
I think the first round is like the first weekend of the college basketball tournament where it's like you get to see everybody, and then the next weekend there's less games, so it's less exciting.
Yeah, that's when all the dudes leave too. That's when everybody leaves the field. I didn't even realize that, by the way. When I hit in the AAA home run derby, so I'm uniquely qualified to talk about being in a home run derby. Yeah, I was hitting in the AAA home run derby, and then like halfway through the first round, everybody just started leaving. Like all the guys that were at the game, and I was like, "Where are you guys going? You're not allowed to leave." And I just stayed till the very end, even though I put up a goose egg, and I knew I wasn't going to advance.
I don't remember guys leaving. I felt like it was the players stayed out. It's really fun live, really fun. The energy, the fact that it's happening now. You're not waiting for a pitch.
Yeah. The curiosity of what's actually in the Gatorade cups that they're drinking out of.
That's my other huge home run derby story is I drank so many Gatorades I had to pee like 7 times.
Yeah. Is it Gatorade?
And I did a show wipe with the Gatorade towel, like the Donaldson called a timeout, and I just like wiped off. I wasn't even really sweating.
Yeah.
Just a show wipe. Format wise, it'd be cool if they did like a reseeding maybe after the first round, because when they go based off of the seeding, and it's like it's cool that it's a matchup. But if it was like just to open, like there's 8 guys and we're going to seed you after the first round, maybe do like a 1-minute round or a 2-minute round, make it a little more like normal batting practice. Where like, hey, you get in for a minute, and then that's going to set the seeding for a 2-minute round or something like that, just to make it more look a little faster turnover. Probably not as good for TV, all the commercial breaks and whatnot. That thing is a production. Yeah. That is a scripted event.
Chain was nice.
The what?
I was about the chain. Chain was cool.
The chain was very cool. I don't think people realize how much planning and how much of a production that is, that whole event. Like, it's all commercial breaks and sponsorships, and that whole thing is scripted out.
Yep. Money.
Soto just flipping balls to center field. I felt like he was missing balls, and they were going 440, 450 to center.
He's so good, though. And for all the people that think like the home run derby is going to mess you up, he's like 9 for 2 since he hit that with 3 homers.
He's specifically said he's doing the derby to try to help improve his swing.
Yeah. And oddly enough, he hit 3 homers in the last 3 games. It's 2 3-hit games since then. Whoops.
Yeah. That squashed everybody. Like, everybody who's anti-launch angle was like, oh, Juan Soto's got a low launch angle. And then he shows up. He's like, yeah, I'm trying to change that. I don't like that about my swing right now. We're going to do the derby. We're going to actively try to change it.
So good.
So there's a clip of JD Martinez and Vlad Jr. talking, and two cool pieces of it. The first one was the swing change thing. The first, I guess, second, I went completely out of order right there. So there's a Gerrit Cole situation and then the swing change. We'll talk the Gerrit Cole one first. Kind of a shady moment. I saw people saying that they hate Gerrit Cole, and then I saw Yankee fans being like, I love it, never talk to the Red Sox ever. So basically the JD said that him and two other guys, I forget who.
Xander,
and then somebody else were like, oh, hey, Gerrit, how's it going? And he just shaded him hard. Just didn't say hi, didn't acknowledge him. Thoughts?
He's a first team all antisocial.
Is that so? Where's the line of rivalry? Because Homerun, like All-Star games, Homerun derbies, they're in the same. So they're on the same. So the players are on the same.
No,
players on the same team, but they're not on the same teams.
People are going to try to make this about Yankees and Red Sox. It has nothing to do with Yankees and Red Sox. Like, it's literally zero to do with Yankees and Red Sox. Anybody that's talking about, oh, I'm so proud of a Yankees fan, he didn't talk to Red Sox, you're an idiot. Stop. Gerrit Cole is like a different cat. He's like not – I'm not going to go as far as to say he's not a good human when it comes to, like, social interaction. But I've seen some stuff, right? This was happening – back in Double-A when he was, first round pick or whatever. Was he 1-1? He was 1-1, right? Or 1-3 or 1-2.
He was up there.
So we're in Double-A and we're playing in New Britain. And this guy was like actively – there's like 6 fans waiting for cards at New Britain Stadium, right? It's not 106. It's 6. This guy made it a point to walk in the other side of the stadium from our entrance, and it's to avoid these fans. Started chasing him, and he ran across to get in the clubhouse. Like, I've talked to guys that played with him. I never played with him. I've never had a conversation with Gerrit Cole. I don't care to. He's a pitcher, so I want to hate him, generally speaking anyway. It's just how he is. Take it for what it's worth. When you're at the All-Star game, like, it's probably your civic duty to, like, chat with the dudes, right? Like, at least interact. And I get it, right? Maybe you don't want to. Maybe there's a rivalry component. Maybe you're a little bit caught off guard with all this sticky stuff crap. But there's no scenario where you shouldn't say hi to people. I'm a firm believer in that. There's no time it's okay to ignore somebody saying hello to you.
Yeah, he seems pretty big league.
That's the right word.
That's all he does.
Right?
But it sounds like he was like that forever. So can you be big league like when you're in college? Can you be big league when you're in high school?
You know you're going to be 1-1 or 1-2 or 1-5. Yeah, there are plenty of kids that I've played with that have acted like that. I played with a dude that got drafted in the 18th round that acted like that.
This came up last week. I forget the specific situation, but we call it the douchebag rule, the law of douchebag. And it's like if you've ever seen the Crazy Hot scale for the funny internet video about the crazier a girl is, the more hot she has to be to tolerate it, that whole thing. The same thing happens with baseball players. The more of a douchebag you are, you have to be equally as good a player to be tolerated in the clubhouse. So, like, if you're rocking like a 7 ERA and you're a douchebag, it's not going to work.
That ain't it.
If you got a 2.3 and you're punching out 12 per 9,
we'll deal with you.
Tolerate it. Crazy hot scale.
Yeah, but that's binary. It's just linear. Like, it's just a linear thing. X and Y go up together. The crazy hot scale is interesting because you hit a certain threshold and then it's like, okay, more dynamic.
It's a funny video. It would actually it would be fun to do one for baseball because how he's got like the different lines for like the unicorn and the sweet spot. Because you need some jerk like attitude towards your opponents almost.
Yeah.
You got to be a little like.
I respect the fact that you hate your opponent. Don't get me wrong. But you can hate your opponent like in between the lines and still say what's up at the All-Star game.
True.
You like literally, you don't have to like the guy. Like I'm not telling you have to like the dude that you play against.
Isn't Cole, isn't he the players rep too for the union? I think.
Sure. I don't know.
I think he's the players.
He's on one of the executive boards. Like,
yeah. So I feel like that's even a higher duty to interact and speak with other humans in your profession. The other part of the JD Martinez Vlad clip was talking about swing changes, and JD was like, "Hey man, what'd you do?" And Vlad was like, "Oh, I just lost weight." And he's like, "No, you added the toe tap." Pretty cool clip. JD's obviously a student of hitting and pays attention. The show notes say that, see if we have any other fun kinds of player interactions, any stories like that. I'm sure you have way more. I didn't want to get into stuff like mechanics when I was at the Derby because I didn't want to like be weird and like start prying. But I know you've told me stories about times in the clubhouse and just interactions. I feel like BP would be the best place to do it, where you're just out there kicking it, just talking about stuff. And do you have any cool stories?
I mean, I have a lot probably, but I just call it a Tuesday. No, I would say the ones that stand out, there was I was actually talking to Jason Grilly on the other team. I just played the WBC with him. I think it was the year after the WBC, and Jason came to Fort Myers with the Pirates, and we were actually discussing kind of career path and what it takes to be the best version of yourself. And I think this will be a tremendous segue into the next thing. And this is definitely like my favorite conversation that I ever had, because it correlates so much to what I see players experience day in and day out. College kids that are in summer ball right now, like guys going through struggles. You become the most dangerous as a player when you're on the last rung of the ladder. When you get to the very, very last rung and you got nowhere left to fall. And he said that to me, and I didn't really understand it. He said, every time she has to call me right in the middle of my Monday, every time.
Savannah.
It was my mom.
From Italy too, right? Should we get her on the show? Can you answer with your phone?
No, I'm just going to let it be. So she's definitely going to call again anyway. So right in the middle, when you're right in the middle on that scale, like there's a ladder, right? You get to the top of the mountain, you get to the very, very top. You've got a ton of way to fall, right? So when you start trying to live up to the expectations that you've set, it can be scary, right? You have a ton of room where you can fall. Like you just take one false step and now, I'm not living up to the expectations. Even when you're in the middle of the ladder and you still got something to lose underneath you, right? There's still room to fall. Like, so the point is, like, what can you do for yourself as an athlete to be the most dangerous all the time? Like, you become the most dangerous when you're on the last rung, when there's nothing to lose. And it's hard to do that when you have a bunch of expectations built up in your head. You're making a certain amount of money. You're supposed to be the dude that everybody turns to, that everybody looks at. And like, when you play with that burden on your shoulders, the game becomes incredibly difficult. That was my favorite interaction I ever had. The other thing that really, really stands out in my mind is the conversation I had. It was me, Donaldson, and Bautista. We stayed in the clubhouse till like 1:30 in the morning talking about the swing. I recorded a lot of it on my phone because I just wanted you to hear it more than anything else. Just how different guys got there. And all three of us did it very differently. But obviously, three swing change guys, we all ended up on the same team. It was ironic. And it was really interesting to me to get kind of the root of it all for all three of us, like the why behind it, the how behind it. That one was fun.
I remember you calling me after that one. That was it's cool to hear stories about that.
It was so eerie too, because it was like it was the moment where you're like, is this real life? Like, this can't be real life. We met Donaldson through somebody else. Bautista's a swing change guy. He was Bobby's poster boy. I went through what I went through. We played Joey Bats in AA while he was rehabbing, and then Donaldson gets traded. Like, come on, like you can't make that up,
Yeah, it was a strange, serendipitous kind of journey for all you guys. It's cool. Bold predictions for the second half. You got anything?
Somebody will win the World Series.
So producer Patrick's getting high on the Red Sox right now. He thinks they're going to get Anthony Rizzo. The Cubs are going to have a fire sale. Who's going where? Where's Rizzo going? Where's Bryant going? Where's
I heard they were trying to extend Rizzo and Baez though the other day, so I don't know.
I think the white flag is up with them.
Even if they have a fire sale, like you still need cornerstone pieces. You're not gonna pawn off everyone. Like
so Rizzo to the Red Sox. You throw Dahlback in there and somebody else, another young promising pitcher, maybe some player, maybe a couple pitchers. I think Dahlback would be the obvious choice there, who's young, potential, cheap, versus Rizzo, who's not cheap. You got to get some value out of him. Kimbrel could be a very interesting one because he's shutdown closer. He's back to his form that when he was electric, because he wasn't for a while.
Brought his hair, man.
Yeah, when he cut his hair and shaved, it was like a wild thing losing it when what did he do? He got contact lenses and stuff in Major League 2. I'm looking at the standings, American League. I don't know what's going to happen here. I feel like Toronto is going to make a push. I just feel like they have so much offense. And I kind of want them to win. So it's kind of a romantic pick. National League, San Francisco is running away with it. Are they for real?
They pitch, man. They pitch like crazy. Aaron Sanchez hasn't thrown a ball in like a month and a half, and the guy's got like a 2, so they're gonna get. I was texting with them 2 days ago. They have a roster crunch on the mound right now. Think about that.
It's a good problem to have.
So good, and he can't get the ball from them because they're like, oh, we have too many guys that are really good.
So that division between San Francisco, LA, and San Diego, that division's stacked. They're all like San Diego's 5 games back and they're 14 games over 500.
Yeah.
Pretty good. The Central, Milwaukee's just running away with it. I thought Cincinnati was going to put up more of a fight.
I thought the Cardinals were going to be interesting.
AL East, yeah, St. Louis is game below 500. National League East, the Mets, like, duct tape them together and they win. Like, they just need to get a little healthy. Yeah. They need bodies on the field that can.
Speaking of the Mets, did you see what Taijuan Walker did yesterday?
No. Oh, yeah. What is he doing? Why was he mad? Why did he think
it was so fair? It was so fair.
Why did he think it was foul?
I don't know.
Maybe from
Joey Cora coaching third base.
If he was looking down at the ball, like from the angle, and he could see daylight, even though because the edge of the ball has, if any part of the ball, like, how am I going to do this? We'll use this.
It was so fair.
This is we'll do this. So, like, if any part of the ball, fair ball, foul ball, like, that's a foul ball, that's fair ball. The ball was fair, easily.
So fair.
Easily fair. And then his reaction to it was like,
dude, I just implore anybody that's listening to this show to go watch the third base coach, Joey Cora, who used to be a little ball of fire for the Seattle Mariners. Just watch him because it's awesome. Because he's like, it's fair. And then he's like, yeah. And then he's like waving the guy, but then he turns toward home plate and he's waving the runner while he's staring at home plate because he doesn't know what to do. It was crazy. It was funny.
Pretty awkward play. The catcher was freaking out. He like looked to the dugout for an appeal before the play. Like, that's a live ball. So I think as an umpire with instant replay, you have to call that ball fair no matter what, and let instant replay call it foul. It's almost like
there's no replay on that play.
They can't do replay on that?
No.
Okay. So I was thinking a bit more in terms of, like, in the NFL, where now if it's a potential fumble, they just let it play out. and then they go and review it afterwards. Because like if you call it dead, then it's dead, and you can't do anything about it. Maybe they scoop and score, and then you got nothing. I didn't know that was not a reviewable play because they're just making stuff up as they go along. So who knows what's actually reviewable or not. But so my NFL comparison is moot at this point, but I still like that you call it fair anyway.
I know what you're saying.
It was a fair ball. It was a fair ball.
I completely agree with you. The weirdest thing is like you can look at a fly ball down the line or no, fair and foul, like you can never whatever. But why would you not want to be able to review fair and foul?
So it's tough. So if in tennis with the Hawkeye system, it shows where the ball hit. And if like it's a circle, it's a sphere, so the ball can hit and part of the ball can be over the line and then it's not in, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like
the best
where the ball impacts the ground is so like, let's say a ball down the left field line lands foul. The mark is fully foul, but part of the ball would be over the fair line. So that should be a fair ball.
I don't understand why the appeals take so long in the big leagues. Like, why does the umpire have to go put 2 sets of headsets on? Why does the coach? How about the coach just goes, "Hey, we're going to review that." The guy's going to go, "Okay, we're reviewing." The guy in the booth just goes, "Hey, Brian O'Nora, it was fair." And then they're going to be like, "All right, cool, it was fair. We're going to move the runner." Like MLB talks about pace of play all the time. This can't be that hard.
Yeah, they go over, they put the headset on, they stand there looking at watching the replay themselves, like it makes a difference.
Yeah. In tennis, the guy literally goes, "Hey, I want to check that." And then the umpire's like, "Click." He's like, "All right, cool, you were right."
What happens if they lose an appeal in tennis? Do they get a set number?
Their appeals. They only have like 3 per match or 2 or something.
Can the head judge do their own appeal?
The head judge?
Because
they appeal the appeal?
Didn't I think it was at the French Open went fully automated. They went automated strike zone in tennis. Do you like automated strike zone in tennis versus baseball? I'm just going to keep calling it the automated strike zone.
Whatever. Doesn't matter.
I really want to know because you're so.
Yes, because
so
the
close.
lines have existed forever. It's either in or it's out. There are no lines for the strike zone. I don't know why anybody ever thinks that, like, hey, can I stop getting phone calls in the middle of the show, please? Like, there's lines in tennis. They're like, when tennis started, they were like, hey, here's the court. If it hits this line, it's in. If it doesn't, it's out. In baseball, the guy never went, hey, let me draw this imaginary square in the middle of home plate.
Yeah, but
everybody has to live by.
They do that now with computers.
Right, but that's not the strike zone. Like the strike zone is arbitrary. Like, you have an opinion. When when the rule book said, like, at the top of the belt and the letters and the belly button and dude, for 1,000 years, the strike zone was like defined as like a space that didn't really have borders.
Well, the issue is you can't see it during the game. Like the pitcher's not standing on the mound looking at it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not throwing to a target.
But we could just go augmented reality and just put it in there. Like
let's put a laser depiction of.
How about that? Major League umpires should wear augmented reality glasses, the Google Glass or whatever it is. So when they look at the strike zone, they see the box. I'm tweeting about this. This is my.
But it's getting ridiculous.
Somebody talked about that. This is breaking news. Yeah. Augmented reality strike zone for umpires solves all the problems. They make every single call perfectly because they can see the strike zone.
Why do we always get back to this?
Done. I did it. I solved the problem.
Yeah. Okay. You solved the problem, but technology's still going to break. And Todd is still going to text me and be like, I can't believe we don't see eye to eye. And Mike Bryant's going to get mad at me. Like, and listen, as a hitter, I hate getting bad calls made against me. I tweeted about this. The unintended consequences of changing this are going to be absolutely belligerent.
Why?
Like first time something that happens like that happened in the Atlantic League, when a ball bounces and the freaking system called it a strike, everybody is going to lose their minds. You've seen the videos of what's happening in the Atlantic League.
Yeah, but that's a radar-based system. That's
That's
not
what.
offensive.
No. That's what. You don't think that technology is going to mess up at some point? That everybody's going to be like, and it's going to be egregious, Bobby.
Okay.
Egregious.
Okay. So do you what's the threshold of like humans making mistakes versus technology making mistakes? Because
But
there's some games where guys make like 10% of the calls are wrong.
That's fine. It's fine. But like you're saying wrong.
So
that's a thing. Like there is no right and wrong. The umpire has full discretion to decide what a ball and a strike are. Period. End of story. Like that has been the rule forever. Now, if you want to get rid of umpires, be my guest. Now you're also going to get rid of catchers because like anybody that catches the ball a certain way doesn't matter anymore. So let's just put like, like whatever back there. It doesn't matter. Like you're fundamentally changing the game. Again, like you want to.
How the catcher receives the ball shouldn't matter.
Why?
Because okay, home plate dictates the lateral strike
zone. Baseball is an artistic game, dude. Like you played it forever.
Home plate defines the lateral strike zone. Up and down gets harder. But you could just define that preseason in spring training. Every player gets measured, and you're like, all right, this is your strike zone.
Great. Go ahead. Do it. Awesome.
Umpire. So you say like the umpire has like just a subjective reality of what the strike zone is. That's not the intent of the rule book. They're supposed to call the strike zone according to a set of rules, and there's interpretation there. And there's some guys that have a higher zone or a lower zone, or they give more off the edge of the plate than the other guy. But it's supposed to be, this is the strike zone, east and west. And then whether it's knee or letters, whatever letters are above the
whatever letters are. Like what are letters? What is 2 balls above the belly button? Like, dude.
But you
it's
can
undefined.
But the thing is now with technology, you can define the strike zone. You can say at the beginning of spring training, like we're going to go from the top of your pelvis, the iliac crest on your pelvis, percentage of your body height. They can actually define all that now. And you could do augmented reality. And then you would know your strike zone would be consistent through the entire season. You wouldn't want that as a hitter?
Sure.
With the appeal process where you could appeal it.
I would much rather see something like an appeal process. Yeah. Like I don't want a fully automated strike zone. It'll change the game.
But if the umpire was seeing it in real time, and they could see like their vision was the box, and if it clipped the box, it turns green. If it doesn't, it's red. Then it's just ball strike in the flow of the game, like nothing.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I just solved the whole pitch. I'm so proud of myself. Has anybody talked about? I haven't heard anybody talk about augmented reality. We can play Pokemon Go across the globe, and we can't do automated strike zones. This could be like across all of baseball. I should stop talking about it, and we should just turn Pelotero into the AR strike zone. He's so smart.
Which is really bothering me right now because he keeps moving.
Yeah, he was a dog. So perfect game.
He hasn't had his allergy shot, so he keeps getting itchy, and he wants me to pet his belly. And then when I put him on the ground, he just rubbed himself in circles for like an hour.
He's a dog. He's a dog. Perfect game, 60 times. Posted a guy who's very fast, but said that he set the world record in 60, running a 5.96. I have never seen somebody go below 6.4 with my own eyes on a stopwatch. 5.96 is absurdly fast, but the baseball world lost their collective minds.
Word on the street is the laser system. I got this was the 411. So like the people aren't doing the drop step, and the laser system is seeing the foot on the line for longer, so it doesn't start the time. Yeah, nobody's running a 5.96. Like the world class sprinters, maybe.
The actual world record was like 5.99 or something.
Yeah, so like
this would have been a world record. Yeah. But there's just nobody's like mad at the kid. There was some like chatter about like, oh, people are hating on the kid. It's not the kid's fault. He just got invited to an event. He ran as fast as he could, and perfect game put out a time. I haven't seen anybody take the video and like try to do a timer on the video. The software that I had that does that doesn't, it's like the license changed on it, so I can't use it anymore. I don't feel like spending $180 to put a timer on a video. That's really not that big of a deal. Somebody else can do it. But 596 is absurd. The baseball community's reaction to it has been very interesting. A lot of people are hating on Perfect Game. I don't think anybody's really hating on the kid. He's like the fastest kid alive. Like what's the movie? It's Fast Kid Alive. McLovin. What's the name of that movie? Super bad. Yeah, he's the fast kid alive. He is the fast kid alive. He's the fastest high schooler. So he's the fast kid alive. 596 is ridiculous. There's also like a bunch of 6'1s and 6'2s, just absurd times for like people to start that fast.
Yeah.
You had a good tweet. I ran a 6.51, so it was my best 60, something like that.
No,
my best 40. Your best 40.
No, you can't. The delivery was so poor there. I remember when I ran my 6.5. It was my best 40 time ever.
I mean, 6'2 is absurdly fast. Have you ever seen a 6'2 who's the fastest guy you ever played with or against?
Revy was fast on my team.
But he had crazy legs. He looked like his knee was going to dislocate every time he ran.
Yeah. I mean, listen, once I got past the showcase phase of my life, like I didn't, nobody ever ran the 60 in baseball. So like you didn't.
So, but who was fast? Hicksy was fast.
Yeah, but he never looked fast.
Yeah, but he made that. That's what made him fast. He was gliding.
Revere. I can't tell. I don't know.
I'd like to see Buxton run in real life.
In real human. Yeah.
There's the ones that are scarier guys that like they hit a ground ball short and they're safe. You're like, wait, what? What happened?
I don't know what that feels like.
Like a 2-hopper to short and they're just safe.
But then I've watched some highlights myself and I hit a ball 2 steps to shortstop right and he had to dive or whatever. And then I'm like, dude, I'm so fast. But I'm not. No. By the way, you completely skipped over the Giannis thing. When I gave you the best segue. No, but I gave you the best segue ever from Cole and then the conversation in the outfield. This is my favorite topic today.
I missed your. I remember when you said, "Here's a good segue." I didn't see the connection, so maybe you can do it.
Did you watch the interview?
Yeah.
Talks about not playing to expectations, being in the moment.
Yeah. Okay.
How did you not see it?
I just remember the biggest takeaway that the tweet I kept seeing was ego is the past.
But it was all about being in the moment and not trying to play up to somebody else's expectations or your own expectations, or like it was about being present.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, I mean that's why I said it out loud.
Yeah, I was going down in an order, so I wasn't really thinking. Every time I see the Giannis thing, I always call him Giannis. I just think of the ego line, so I didn't connect it. That's on me.
He had a 13-minute post game that was, and people love Giannis interviews, dude. They love him.
Well, it seems like he's got a lot of perspective on like the world and life. So he's pretty humble, and he's a superstar, and he's got like all the physical tools in the world, and he's just super humble. It's a good combination.
Yeah, he's good, man.
It's not like LeBron does it, but he does it in a way where he's like, just
look at me.
Heard. Yeah, he just brutal. Did you watch Space Jam, by the way?
Oh my God, what a terrible movie.
So let's get to that after. So Giannis, super talent, showing out right now in the finals. The Brewers moved up the time of their game so that everybody can watch the finals, which I thought was a good move. Very, very self-aware. Like, we're not the big story tonight, so let's get out of the way. I thought that was really good. And I'm sure some of the players like Yelich should go to the game. Hader should go to the game. Like, it'd be cool to have all the people there. It's good. It's good for the city. Super talented. Let's go to Space Jam now, though. It's basically a post show, but I watched it the other night. Knowing that this movie's not intended for our demographic.
Is it though?
It kind of is. So it's trying to capture the the nostalgia, obviously because it's Space Jam. I just can't stand LeBron. I can't.
All right, here I'm gonna give you like
they made some money, so good for him. But
the jerseys are brutal. They're terrible. Like worst thing ever. I have the original Toon Squad jersey, and it's sick because it was so simple. Had the red Looney Tunes thing, said Toon Squad in the middle, whatever. You know the target. Great jersey.
I kind of like the New Jersey, but keep going.
I think it's terrible.
I wasn't like hugely into the movie the first time.
John Cheadle is funny, and they took away all his humor because they made him the bad guy. Bugs Bunny's voice is terrible. The guy that's doing Bugs' voice is terrible. The premise behind the movie, Al G Rhythm, like what is going, like what?
That was a large stretch for a major plot.
And then like, oh, my son hates me because I'm LeBron and I'm good at basketball and he likes the code. What are we doing?
I just thought they killed Bugs Bunny and then they just brought him back.
Yeah, he was just alive. Like they can't get rid of me. Well, that's spoiler alert, by the way.
You ever see
spoiler alert. Bugs died and now he's alive.
Yeah, but he didn't. You ever watch Beer Fest when they killed Farva and then he just came back? Because it's like
no, Farva. That was Farva's twin. It wasn't Farva.
It's Farva. That's Farva. Come on.
But he had a twin brother.
I know, but it's the exact. He's like, could you just call me the same name and I'll act the same?
Yeah.
Like they just brought him back.
At least there's like it would be like Bugs Bunny's twin coming back.
Yeah, it was
Bugs.
He got glitched, and then they just brought him right back in the real world.
LeBron's like, oh, I could do this, the in-out, step back, and like, but I'm a human, so I'm gonna be okay because that's where what a terrible, terrible, terrible movie. I went into that with like expecting a 3, and it came out -1. So that's a net -4 with a low starting score to begin with.
It's rough. That's rough.
Terrible.
I didn't like the goon characters either.
Brutal.
Like the guy that was like water fire. I didn't get it. Like he just ran straight through him.
That was Klay Thompson.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah, stupid. The funny thing is like it was so bad. It was so bad. There can't be anybody that actually likes that movie.
Made some money. LeBron was celebrating that on Twitter, obviously.
Weird.
I think it's hard. I mean, to remake a movie that's got that kind of cult classic, it's tough. I mean, you got to really produce. I don't know.
I believe I can fly. Like, dude, you know how many like things are attached? Everybody get up. It's time to slam now. There's so many songs like attached to the original Space Jam.
And it's Jordan. It's MJ.
The fact that they didn't bring Jordan back in the movie at all. And Michael B. Jordan. It was brutal.
It's tough. That was Space Jam. Any thoughts on the draft?
I thought they drafted some players.
So we had Frelick, guys that you have a connection to. Frelick, Morissette, BC guys.
Couple free agent signs too. Frelick, Morissette, Sheehan. I mean, I gotta turn my ringer off on my computer. Probably like a good idea.
Something to consider.
Yeah, Frelick, Morissette, the BC guys. A couple Northeastern dudes went. I don't really know them. Yeah, that was about it, I think.
That Rocker going 10th overall was kind of a surprise. Slid down, I think, because of money.
Yeah, signability like became a big thing with the slot value picks.
I didn't pay too close attention to it after. I mostly wanted the Red Sox to get lighter because Patrick wanted that so bad, and then that didn't happen immediately. So,
yeah, but they got a pretty good player.
They got the kid, the shortstop, who's supposed to be really, really good.
Go 1-1.
The catcher from Louisville, is he good? I remember watching them against. He had a good season. but I remember watching when BC played them early this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not in love with him. Let's put it that way. I've heard mixed reviews about his defense.
1-1. 1-1 catcher. That's fast track right there.
Oh, yeah.
Good for him. Yeah, I don't really have any major thoughts on the draft. It's the conversation last week with Coach Kerr about the NIL, and it's going to be very interesting to see over the next couple of years.
Yeah. Oh, Ben Wright, 12th overall to the Yankees. That's one of my guy. I like Ben. He's a good kid. I told Matt Hyde, good pick. Proud. He can hit.
Where's Ben Rice kid from?
Dartmouth. Your underwear alma mater.
A Dartmouth kid went 12th overall.
He can hit, man. Catcher, swings it. Like 20 college at bats over 3 years.
20?
Yeah. Their seasons just kept getting canceled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he raked in the Futures League. Got good swing stuff going on. Started the year at the Cape this year, and was banging. He's a good player, man.
What happened with the Player Development League? This whole the MLB PDP or
The
PDP?
Appalachian League.
Yeah, wasn't that supposed to be like the grooming ground? I haven't really heard much about that.
I don't pay any attention to it.
It's just another like college league now. Is that all it is?
Yeah, basically.
I thought that was going to be where all these players were going to get drafted out of, and that was going to be the showcase for them, bringing all the top talent. I haven't heard anything about it. Maybe I'm not following the right accounts on Twitter. Oh, I have a Twitter thought post show. I was going through, so Perfect Game has an account called PG Scouting, and I was going through just looking at hitters, just kind of checking stuff out. I would say like 60 to 70% of highlights for hitters are Hook Johnson doubles, pull side. And I think that's wildly unimpressive.
Highlights for like what, in what regard? From there.
They'll put up a video like, oh, this guy is an uncommitted 2023, blah, blah, blah. Buzzword. Here's a video. And then the video, like more than 50% of the time for a hitter, is a hook double down the line, pull side. It's like, wow, you can hook a double down the line? It's crazy. Like, show me an oppo gap. Show me like a balanced stay back, good swing through the middle of the field, not, oh, I got the head out. And I'm talking like way out. That doesn't show me anything at all. It just shows me that if you catch it out front, you can hook it down the line.
I concur.
It's just funny to me. It's funny. A lot of stuff that I'm working on for Pelotero from a content standpoint, defining what being a good hitter means.
What is good?
Creating a system behind that and like really doing a deep dive into it. And then you go on there and you look at videos and you're like, nope.
For 1,000 years, we like this goes full circle back to the thing that we were talking about before, and what annoys me and why I love Giannis's interview. In baseball, it's so hard. Like, and Giannis was just making light of like how to deal with today versus yesterday and prepare for tomorrow, and I loved it. Right? In baseball, the reason why people stink is because they allow themselves to stink, because they get caught up in results. Like, and I'm not saying like the results matter in the sense that you have to be able to create the kind of outcomes that are most conducive to getting hits, getting on base, producing runs, things like that, right? But you go through stretches in baseball where that's not happening. And what happens is like you abandon like all rational thought, and before you know it, you're in this emotional, firestorm of like believing that you're either the best player ever or the worst player ever because you have 6 hits or you've made 6 outs. You know what I mean? Like I love when kids say to me, "Hey, oh dude, this guy's hitting 400." I'm like, he has 38 at bats, bro. Like, what are we talking about? Like batting average in of itself is a metric. It's a number that's meant to be measured over time, over ample amount of at bats. like these short-term sprint numerical goals about, you know, percentage stats are ridiculous to me. And they just fundamentally lack the awareness to know what the difference is. They don't even know. And that's why players get hurt by this game. They get dominated by this game. I wish more people could just play. Just play. Like, be in this moment to the best of your ability. And, I mean, Giannis is talking about doing it in hoops, which is, you know, even I would say an easier sport mentally to deal with because it's a go game. But, like, how important it is to him to do that. So, like, baseball in a sport where we need to do it even more, like, that is the tool that we need to train. That's the tool. Before anything else.
Fair. Very fair. I have nothing to add to that.
Pickle out!